Hey guys, this is Graham with the Non-Traditional Artist, and I have the pleasure to introduce you to my friends Matt Tanyi, Jesse Hall, and Dan Thompson. And they are the creators of what's called Wholetec Studios and Wholetec Designs. And they really embody the spirit of the non-traditional artist, and that they have something a creative energy that they want to get out and share with the world and bring people into it. And so let's just get right into it. Wholetec Designs. Jesse, could you give us a little bit of an idea about what Wholetec Designs is and where you want to go with this?
Yeah, Wholetec Designs, if you can picture like an IT company or something. Wholetec Designs is nitty-gritty business operations, what I call infrastructure. So Wholetec Designs is the service that makes the, how do I say this? Basically brings the technology to the forefront, you know what I mean? So studios, in respect, would be the creative, the sexy side of it. But designs is the infrastructure side. And what we do with digital signage, the menu boards and whatnot, and pretty much the delivery of that content is that. Not online. So most people would say the delivery of that content would be, internet and all that stuff. But actually, it's the technology that delivers that content.
That's really interesting. And it's more of a B2B side of things then too, right? So artists and things like that who want some type of graphical design work, they come to you for that?
That would be studio side. That'd be the sexy, the
studios kind of takes care of it. Studios will basically take care of the content itself, and then Wholetec Designs will basically take care of the actual infrastructure of it.
Yep.
The setting up.
So the TVs,
the hardware.
The hardware that does that.
Yep.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So then maybe a little bit different type of question then. What is it that got you guys into wanting to provide this type of service to people and to really make artistic expression a part of your life?
Artistic expression. Wow, that's a really good question.
Yeah, it is, because for me it's been, it's been ever since I was a kid, because I've always I've been a musician since I was 10, 11 years old. So it's always been that kind of thing for me. And then meeting Jesse, I've known Jesse for a long time, but since recently we got started with, he has all the equipment for this, and it's like a great outlet for it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is our company. And you know what? I have one word for that. Well, two words.
Yeah, that too.
What word was that, Jesse?
Pink Floyd.
Oh, Pink Floyd. Okay, awesome. And for me, it's always just been fun, right? Art has just been so fun and
you're such a good director, Matt. You've always been good at directing, putting together skits and stuff. Sorry.
It's always been fun to me. I guess imagination. Yeah. It's an exploratory process, right? And I think it's part of what makes life fun. And that's always been my goal, is how can I make my life more fun, and how can the world have more fun? But I think on a deeper level, we all want to connect, and we all want to see the world as a better place.
Right.
And I think art is sometimes the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, what were you saying on the phone to me just prior to this meeting here?
Oh, of how it all connects together, And I think I did sort of paint the picture that, designs being business to business and having the ability to bring that creativity to a business, because obviously any business, our main goal in life is to be liked, right? And so designs is kind of bringing that digital signage to the forefront. Now, Graham, the ways that these sister companies work is the fact that designs, like Jesse and Dan said, is going to bring the technology to the forefront, or bring the technology to the business, whereas studios is going to have the creators that are actually creating the content to fuel what they want to do. So basically, we want to go to a business and say, hey, what do you want to pull off? And we want to help make it possible using both companies.
Yes. In our business isn't just to make money. We want to make people money. We want to all benefit from this. And that's one of our biggest things. So all benefiting from the studio side, you get to hear good music, you get to hear whatever, you get to laugh, whatever it is. And then designs is that delivery delivers that greatness, or, you know, I mean, they're still different. They are.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at designs, you've got the content that makes the business that buys from us more money, you know, and we work together with them specifically to differentiate their store, because, and you know, that this whole world right now is going so personal. And there's something Matt and I used to really, we talked about quite a bit. Sarah, or Sandberg, whatever her name is, she works in Facebook, one of the top people in Facebook, Sandberg. Anyway, it's all professional, it's all personal, no matter what, you know, and that's kind of where we're at. We want to make everybody kind of make that happen. It's hard for me to say, you know.
Right. Yeah, through creating those win-win situations. And it's kind of like the idea that Graham, as an artist, as a non-traditional artist, let's say, you kind of take that with you everywhere you go, right? So even though you might be clocked in at a job 9 to 5, you're still an artist. Right. But at the same time, you're many things. You know, all of us wear different hats, and that's kind of, I think, I love how Wholetec embraces just that variety, because I'm the biggest fan of variety. And so we get into starting to talk about studios live, it stems from that. It's just the fact that I've never been satisfied with just one genre of music. I've never been satisfied with just one style of art, or one, even like when I go to McDonald's, I get chicken nuggets. I need like 2 or 3 different sauces, dude, if not all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all the sauces you got, because I don't want to just eat barbecue sauce.
Right.
Matt has never liked to been told. Matt never likes to be told what he's going to get. What he wants to know is, just give it to me, baby. You know.
No, that's really interesting. Variety is the spice of life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So on that note, then, we've talked about Studios Live a little bit. Give us a broad overview of what Studios Live is and where you see this going, and also after that, maybe how we can bring the community in that want to be a part of it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so on that note, Studios Live is that variety show, and using, you know, everybody's going live on YouTube and Facebook, and really realizing we have the technology, and we also have the people, the artists, the creators, the comedians, and just kind of putting both of those together, we've got Studios Live. And so basically what we want it to be is every week it's going to be a different show. It's going to feature comedy skits. It's going to feature music skits or musical guests, musical performances. And really it's just going to be something fun that people can tune in on, whether they're watching, you know, whether they're at home without much to do, or whether they're even out on somewhere, you know, so at a party. We want it to be something fun. We want to bring that fun to everybody. And we've always kind of had this belief, and I think the whole thing with design and studios kind of stems from that belief that, and you see a lot of businesses doing this, that even though there's the professional side, everybody needs to have that creative side too. Yeah. So I think our philosophy with Wholetec always has been, all of us are professionals, and we all sort of fulfill this purpose, but at the same time, we all want to let loose and have fun once in a while too, right? And so sort of that is it stemmed from our desire to do that. So we never just want to be the serious company that you know, is out to make money. We always, for instance, you know how you hear about Google, they want to make their workplace a fun place to be, right? And sort of it stemmed from that. We're saying, well, all of our employees have some creative desire, so why not take that and use it in some way? Or give them the ability once a week to be able to show that and really make people laugh and really, you know, do what they want to do with it.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching it. That's for sure. Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be sort of like a comedy / musical podcast that's going to come on once a week. Is there going to be a video aspect of that too?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, if you look over at Jesse and Dan are actually in the studio right now. Yeah, and Dan is going to be one of the main characters. I'm going to be involved from afar. I'm probably in the beginning going to be a little more behind the scenes, doing writing, doing a little bit of directing, producing. Whereas Dan is a very fun man up here. He'll never admit it. He'll never tell you that, but he'll make you laugh and make you laugh your ass off. Right. Jesse actually Jesse's a creative genius too, and he's another one. He's reluctant to say it, but that just shows how humble.
You don't know it yet, but he's funny.
I like it. Yeah, that could be funny too. How can I get in and be a part of this on one of these weekends that you're doing it?
Well, the first thing is it's going to be located. So the studio is located in Flint, Michigan. And so anybody that wants to physically be part of it, you can absolutely join us in the studio. And we want it to be a platform where anybody and everybody's invited to be part of it. Because it's not intended to be any type of money-making machine necessarily, but at the same time,
if you're an artist thing at first.
Yeah, if you're an artist or a musician and you just want a way to get your message across, or just a way to really like have fun, this is the way to do it. And that's why we want to invite all of our musician friends, all of our artist friends to be part of it. And so please do.
And to jump off of what Matt was saying, Graham, your purpose right now of what you've described is exactly our purpose too. We want that to be out there. We want to provide and what Matt calls it is a vehicle. We want the vehicle to be there for the people who have creative talents to be able to use it and do it. What are we doing with it? Not much.
It's sort of like a poor man's.
There's more enough around here that everybody can benefit from, and that is really our mission. We don't want to get up on the high pedestal and have a bunch of peasants. We want everybody to join in and have the good life too. And if they've got something to spread, something to say, something musically, something create artistically,
funny.
Drawing,
skits or paintings,
funny,
anything.
Whatever it is, everybody's got to be acknowledged here.
Yeah.
If they are willing to put the work in and do it, then we're willing to put the work in and provide it, right?
Right.
And all of us fit different roles, many roles.
Right.
I think it's really amazing, to be honest.
So when do you guys plan on doing your first live show?
Well, now that I'm back from vacation, I think that Matt and I still need to discuss a lot of this, but I think it should be pretty soon.
Yeah, we got to get the substance for the first show.
Well, technically, we already had like our first like test run, and I guess it didn't have much exposure. We didn't really kind of advertise it, but we did do a test run. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny as hell. I think you can find it on the studio's YouTube page. Otherwise, I'm going out of town. So Jesse just got back from a 2-week vacation. Next week, I'm going on a 2-week vacation. And, let's just say, hopefully, it'll be like a writer's retreat where maybe I can sit back and come up with some more ideas and come back and just ready to go. So I'm envisioning this probably mid-March, probably the end of March or so.
Yeah. So in 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to get a hold of you guys, and I'm going to drive up to Flint and bring a painting for your studio to hang on the wall and watch the first one live.
I was going to ask you about your paintings back there. Are those your works back there behind you?
They are, yes.
Are they? I love them, man. I really, especially that one right behind your head, the mountain and the lake. I really, those are beauties.
Man.
Thanks, Dan.
Now, did you do the earth one too?
The earth one is this one right here.
Yeah,
that is a map, an old school.
Oh, map. Is it? Okay, because it kind of looks like 2 moons, but it's the earth.
Cool. All right. Back to your guys' things then for a little bit. So
we're trying to turn the spotlight on you.
We talked about design. We talked about studios and studios live. Tell me a little bit more about the Middle Class Badass, because that sounds like something that a lot of people from Flint, Michigan could get behind.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you think so. And I'll kind of take the reins on this one just because it's something – it actually originated with Jeremy Murray, who is somebody who reached out to me about 6 months ago with the idea of starting a partnership, and we call it an accountability partnership. And what it means is that we just share goals with each other each week, and we use it as a means to get better and to – hopefully through getting better ourselves, we are empowering ourselves to have a better family, have a better life, and also be better contributors to our community. And we've seen the ways that it's impacted our lives, just basically setting goals and holding ourselves accountable to those goals. And for instance, we have a goal in June to run the Tough Mudder. And for me, it's my very first endurance event. It's going to be a 10 to 12 mile run. It's got like for 24 obstacles that I have to endure. I'm going to have to be electrocuted at some point, or you run through live electrical wires during the race.
We didn't know about that. Oh, wow.
You have to jump in freezing cold water, like ice cold water. You have to do like a pour by plunge during it. So it's definitely going to be a challenge, but that's one of our philosophies, is that, you know, the challenge is the way, and that you won't really get anything in life without embracing those challenges. And so it's for us to challenge ourselves. And at the same time, through running that event, we're actually raising money for a Flint charity, the Greater Flint Community Council. And something like that. Basically, they have a fund for children who were affected by the Flint water crisis. And so in doing so, we're hoping to raise money for charity too. Mm-hmm. But anyway, back to Middle Class Badass. We've seen the ways that this whole partnership has empowered us, and we want to really take that to the public. And really, the philosophy is, if we can all be better people, and we can all raise the average of what is the middle class, and really we can all be proud in our own roles. And it kind of relates back to what we were saying before about, you know, being proud of who you are, or taking who you are everywhere you go. And so really the Middle Class Badass is going to be a podcast. It's going to be another weekly podcast that we're doing. It's a little more serious than Studios Live is going to be.
A lot more serious.
It's going to be an open conversation about how can we be better human beings? How can we be better contributors to our society? And like Jesse said, it's by no means is it really putting ourselves on a pedestal, because at first I was a little reluctant to get out there and say, yeah, because I don't know all the answers, right? But I'm constantly in search of them. And so Middle Class Badass is our way of fulfilling. Wholetec has always had this mission of creating a better world, and through empowering people.
I was just saying that's the word I was going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Empowerment. That's
empowering, enlightening, and really, our philosophy is right now, you know, we're at a place in America where the middle class has suffered and kind of taken a big hit. And at the same time, everybody has, and even I kind of am guilty of this, we all had this vision of being high class, being upper class. Well, get there, you've got to start somewhere, right? And and really, we've all got to be proud of who we are in our own roles. So whether you're a garbage man, a teacher, a dentist, assistant, or an entrepreneur like Jesse, you know, you've got to be proud of your contribution to society. And so Middle Class Badass is our way of really, we can all feel badass as middle class, and really we can raise our average. So if our average right now is 35,000 or 40,000, how can we get to 50? How can we get to 60? And through doing that, each and every one of us, we're creating a better country.
Right. While we empower the other one too, while we empower everyone else, well, you know.
I want to back off of Matt here and the empowerment as well. So if you look at the last 20, 30 years, you know, let's just go back to the 70s. The 70s, I mean, each generation is so amazing, to be honest. But realistically, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, things got really confusing with this digital age, right? So when you look at it, we're still reading the same self-help books from 1990, right? And there's a lot of those around. There's so much self-help. And anyway, we look at that, and then we realize how many people are actually like succeeding on those self-help books. Well, what, 1%, maybe less? I don't know.
The ones that take it seriously,
and
you know.
Here it is. We're in the digital age, and it's take the world by the balls, or don't, you know. And that is where we're at today, and that's what we want to make sure that everybody understands. Okay, look, it's not. These self-help books might work for you, might not, but realistically, take the world by the balls, make it yours, and do your thing, because that's what it is. It's personal.
I was going to say, let me add on that too, because I was actually just talking to him about it a little bit ago when we were on our way back here. But we all, you know, me as well, and you guys, when we graduated high school, we graduated in one of the worst economic periods in the history. You know, I mean, it was just not only was the housing bad, but I mean, it was just the recession. I mean, we started our lives in the recession, basically, our adult lives. So we've had to come up with some creative ways to make money. And I think this is that like shit or get off the pot type thing.
Absolutely.
We can follow in our steps anymore. It's that we got to create our own way.
And also, I think a big component of that is, badass. It's saying, I'm proud of where I'm at today, and I know maybe
not ashamed
right now isn't where I'm going to be, but as long as you're working towards something, you can find a lot of fulfillment from that.
Yeah. Moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. That forward momentum. And that's what we're feeling right now. And that's what I love about this name and about this. It's a movement, really, is the fact that I've found everybody I've talked to about it, they really grab onto that concept.
Yeah.
And let me say, all of that's owed to Jeremy Murray, and he's sort of the co-founder, or I guess you could say the original founder of this with me. And then, but it's going to be one of the main programming on Wholetec Studios.
Yeah.
It fits in so well with our overall mission of what we want to accomplish. And so everybody's going to be involved in it. I'm sure Jesse and Dan will be able to contribute their own ideas and what it all means to everybody. Because
I think that I want to add one big thing to this, to what I said prior to what you just said. But when Dan said, when we graduated to high school, we were in this bad situation. We're to create our own destiny. But ultimately, in my perspective, work will never stop. We will never stop working. And I think that Graham, Matt, Dan, and I, we're in this generation, and we start this generation. We will never stop working. There's not going to be Social Security. Those days are gone, right? So the future is meant to be created at this point, in my perspective. And do I want to retire one day? Not really. I don't. I love my work. I love my thing. It is me, right? And it's so ingrained. And once I stop, I'm going to die, man. So I'm just going to keep on going and living and doing, and it's going to be amazing.
Right, exactly. On that note, I always thought it was funny, Jess, like people that say like, oh, I wish I could win the lottery so I could just quit my job. And I always thought, man, that's so boring. Why would you want to do that? Like, if you're going to win the lottery, dude, at least start your own business, start a bar, start a restaurant, start an online company, and keep working. Because I've always found fulfillment from that.
As entrepreneurs, we get a lot of fulfillment from creating value to society and providing value to people, because the marketplace is the ultimate judge of whether what you're doing is worthwhile or not. And people will, and in this sort of the age that we live in, you were mentioning it earlier, the digital age, but I'd say it's even more of like the social media age. People will give you unlimited, as many likes in life if you're an entrepreneur, by basically paying you for your services or using them in any way, right? So anybody who uses your service, if you're an entrepreneur, that's the highest compliment that can be paid. And I think that's why people like us get a lot of real joy and fulfillment out of bringing value to people's lives and things like that. So I agree with you completely. I think the middle class badass is pretty badass in itself. It's a really awesome concept. And I can't wait to start listening to these podcasts, because I think that's definitely going to be a lot for all of us to learn.
And dude, like I was saying earlier, I think I was saying this before the call, is I think the middle class badass and Wholetec Studios period, I think it fits so much in line with what you're doing with non-traditional artists, because I've always had the feeling like if everybody quit because everybody kind of has a desire to be famous, right? Or in some way. Not necessarily, but I'm saying like if everybody quit their job and just became an artist, then I don't think society would function. But I think it's very important. It's still very important to have art, but doctors and lawyers and like I said, garbage men, teachers, they're very important too. And you should be proud of that. Even if you're not famous or conventionally successful or you're not high class, you should be proud of who you are and your contribution to society. And you can still do your art on the side and still make an impact with your art on the side. And maybe, who knows, maybe your art will pick up momentum and go somewhere and make a huge difference in somebody's life. Like, you could be John Lennon or Michelangelo, but also even them, they started off somewhere else. They started off somewhere, and I feel like even if you are just a teacher, you make a huge impact.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody who interacts with people, and which pretty much all of us, right? I mean, we leave our mark on those people's lives. And so
Absolutely.
should realize that in general.
You know, Graham, I want to say, before we lose the steam for studios, basically, when it comes down to it, education is going to be our main goal, 20, 30 years down the line. And who's to say, really, on the time frame there. But realistically, what our experience is, we want to transform education into pretty much middle class badass, what it is, by the balls. And that's what we want.
It's definitely a worthy goal. All right, I'm going to fire some questions off at you guys. So pretty quick, right? So a couple of sentences about each. Ready? All right. Where do you see Wholetec in a year?
I see Matt back home in the studio and behind the camera and telling people what to do. I don't know.
Sending out podcasts, having guests.
Yeah, I mean, I just see momentum. It's kind of like, where do you see the momentum going? And right now we've got a lot of momentum on the ground level, and I just think the momentum is going to keep picking up and keep going and taking us place.
I'd like to see at least a show, maybe if not every week, every couple weeks, like maybe 2 or 3 a month. And I'd like to turn us into like a poor man's Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
right, exactly. That's how I describe it.
Music,
that's good.
Comedy music, art, yeah.
Sounds great. I'll watch it for sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, next question. How can other people get involved with you? People that really like this idea, they want to help out. Maybe they can't come to Flint, but how can we get involved with you?
Well, first, definitely follow us on, first of all, Facebook. Go like the Facebook page because that's going to be the main distributor of our content. So the Wholetec Studios Facebook page, and then beyond that, we have a YouTube.
Yeah, same with Twitter.
We have Twitter.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah,
Twitter. Oh yeah. And we love any and all ideas, collaborators.
Yeah,
and we can find ways because I'm going to be not only behind the scenes, but I'll probably be involved, like kind of what we're doing right now. I'll be involved because right now I'm in Maryland, and the main studio is in Flint, Michigan.
Right.
So I'll be involved in the beginning. I'll be involved, online, remotely. And so I'm sure that there's a way that we could pull off if somebody does have something to do or is passionate about music. I'm sure we can get them involved online.
And to add to it, if they even if they don't want to be in it or not, or if they want to, but whether they do or not, if they have an idea, that it'd be nice, for them to send it to us, and we can eventually make it into put it into our show.
Absolutely. So basically, what I would say, Graham, is email us. You could do jhall@wholetec.com or mtanya@wholetec.com or dthompson@wholetec.com.
Yep.
Email any of us, contact, whatever.
I'll put the emails right here.
Yeah.
So you're going to see it
every day.
And I get the wild card. So if you get the email address wrong, just as long as wholetec.com is right, I'll get the email.
Okay. Awesome.
And on a personal note, I've got my own personal Instagram, personal Twitter, but are very much in line with what we're doing on studios, obviously. So at the Lumberjack for Twitter, and then at Lumberjack for Instagram. And I'm very proud of what I'm doing there.
All right.
Definitely, pushing.
One more thing, guys. I want to say, our recording software for the live stuff and all that stuff is we can bring in a Skype conversation into that.
Oh, awesome.
So we don't have to be physical.
Yeah.
Pull you in Skype, put you in, and do that.
Wholetec Design has it covered. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. I want one answer from each of you. So to you specifically, what does it mean to call yourself an artist?
Okay. Well, I'll take the
floor, man.
Right. Exactly. I guess it all goes back to that fun thing, but it's about finding your passion and really putting your passion into something that other people can maybe appreciate too. And I think good art, it isn't necessarily always going to be eye candy, right? It might be something that challenges their beliefs,
right?
Or something that takes somebody to a new place, maybe a new emotion that they've never felt before.
Exactly.
And so I guess for me that's what it is to call yourself an artist.
That's a great answer.
My answer, to piggyback off of Matt, because I think he hit the nail on the head there, but my answer would be love. And that's pretty much exactly what Matt said. And
Hey, I agree.
love of art, of creation, of individuality, of yourself, of somebody else, of sharing. It's just love. Man.
Yeah, and on top of what they both said, it's I think art is it's basically what you have bouncing around in your head. If you can make it into a symmetrical, asymmetrical, or just a pattern of some sorts, and it doesn't have to be relevant to anything as long as the pattern makes sense to you.
And somebody else
and you love it. And you love it. As long as it's something that it comes from you and you love it, I believe it's art. You know.
Yeah, wow, those are all great answers.
Yeah.
On the nontraditionalartist.com, the background is that there's a quote from Edward Day Guy. It says, "Art is not what you see, but what you make others see." And so, to me,
there we go.
Like that touches on the abstract side of it, where I'm making something. Maybe I go up to a canvas and I just just throw paint on it, whatever. To me, I mean, I've actually before taken extra canvases, and when I'm cleaning off my palette, I've just taken the knife, I'd scrape the paint, and I'd just smush it onto that extra canvas. And I did that a bunch of times, and eventually it came out looking like some kind of weird abstract modern art thing. And people ask me about it, and they're like,
yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be
about that. And I'm like,
you don't have
what I see is a place to wipe my palette knife off on, but what other people see is they see some type of there's meaning behind it. And so, that's what it's about. And I hope that we can all really continue to help people grow, whether it's through the middle class badass and we're empowering people, or whether people are joining you guys at the Wholetec Studios side of things, where you have the studios live and we're having people collaborate with us for comedy or music or whatever it is. Let's just continue to build this community about all of us, that art is part of who we are, but it's not our day job, and we're all non-traditional artists. And so let's all be together as part of this community.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
thank you very much, Graham. I really appreciate the opportunity for you putting us up and doing your thing. Great work behind you, and I'm ecstatic just to have this opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm excited that I got to meet you, and I'm glad I got to meet you today, and I can't wait to work with you in the future.
You too, man.
Yeah, and let's keep the momentum going, guys. That's what it's all been about. Is I think from time to time, and I think the entrepreneur mind kind of works like this, where you find a passion, but maybe and the next day, you're passionate about something else, and so you got to try to keep the momentum going on some things. And really, I think with studios, it's so embracive of so many different things that we've been able to keep that momentum going. And that's what I'm excited to see where it's going to take us.
Awesome.
I just sit back and kind of enjoy the ride, and then kind of be part of it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, let's all go there together, and that goes to not just the four of us, but to anybody watching who has a desire and a dream in their heart. So thank you, guys. We'll do this again, and I wish Wholetec Studios and Wholetec Designs all the best in the future.
Same to you, Graham.
Sir.